I'd like to call this meeting to order. Village of Ridgewood Village Council, regular public meeting. Today is June 12, 2019. The time is 8 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by a posting on the bulletin board in Village Hall, by mail to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and by submission to all persons entitled to same, as provided by law, by schedule, including date and time of this meeting. Roll call.
Deputy Mayor Newton.
Here.
Councilman Seaton.
Here.
Councilman Voigt.
Here.
Councilwoman Walsh.
Here.
And Mayor Hache.
Here. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join us in a moment of silence in honor of the brave men and women serving our nation's armed forces and its first responders. Thank you. I move the bills, claims, and vouchers and statements of funds on hand as of May 31st, 2019 be accepted as submitted.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move that the Village Council minutes of February 25th and May 8th, 2019, having been reviewed by the Village Council and now available in the Village Clerk's office, be approved as submitted.
Second.
Newton.
Yes.
Seaton.
Yes.
Voigt.
Yes.
Walsh.
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. And we have a proclamation from Bee City, USA, National Pollinator Week. Councilman Seaton.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas pollinator species, such as thousands of species of bees, are essential partners in producing much of our food supply, and whereas pollinator species provide significant environmental benefits that are necessary for maintaining healthy, diverse urban and suburban ecosystems, and whereas pollinators play a vital role for the trees and plants of our community, enhancing our quality of life and creating recreational and economic development opportunities, and whereas for decades, the Village of Ridgewood has managed urban landscapes and public lands that include many municipal parks and greenways, as well as wildlife habitats. And whereas the Village of Ridgewood provides recommendations to developers and residents regarding landscaping to promote wise conservation stewardship, including the protection of pollinators and maintenance of their habitats in urban and suburban environments. Now therefore be it resolved that the Village Council of the Village of Ridgewood does hereby proclaim the third week of June as the Village of Ridgewood's observance of National Pollinator Week, and the Village of Ridgewood as an affiliate of Bee City, USA, and urges all citizens to recognize this observance.
Thank you. Go to public comments, not to exceed 3 minutes per person. Good evening.
Is the green light on the bottom? There's a button. If you could just touch that button, then the green light should come on. Thank you.
Frank Mortimer, 426 Van Buren Street. As I'm talking, my son's going to hand out a few of the things that I'm reading. I want to thank Councilman Seaton for reading the proclamation. That's why I'm here, too, to talk about the National Pollinators Week is next week. And because, of course, Ridgewood being the first Bee City, USA in the state of New Jersey, we have to step up again and do some fun events next week. So I'd like to just let everyone know that the people that are doing things for Pollinators Week, Mango Jam will be having savings all week if you just say pollinators. The Health Barn is going to be doing a Hive to Table event on Wednesday, and they're going to be everything will have to do with honey or something related to bees. The Ridgewood Public Library will be doing a Be Kind story time for all the kids. It's a drop-in. The story will be about bees, as well as they'll have coloring books and stickers to hand out all the kids that show up. And probably one of the highlights will be on Friday, thanks to the Conservancy of Ridgewood Public Lands and the Park and Recreation is doing a midsummer celebration at the butterfly garden around back of the stable, and that's what the green card is. So that's going to be really fun. We'll be attracting Swedish people from a great distance to this because there will be a maypole and lots of Swedish activities and songs as we decorate it with flowers. So thank you again for making us a Bee City, USA, and go pollinators. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Sheila Brogan, 302 Kensington Drive, Ridgewood.
last time I was here about the bus and New Jersey Futures, and this time I'd like to thank you for the installation on the benches. And if you haven't had a chance to see the 2 benches on Franklin Avenue, one by Stop and Shop and one by Boiling Springs Bank up by the corner. They're lovely benches, but we couldn't have done it without Chris Rudishauser. Ooh, gee, I just messed up that name. Sorry about that. And Heather's support and your support for doing that. So thank you for that. And also thank you for further on in your agenda. Hopefully you'll be supportive of the New Jersey Futures and working with New Jersey Future on an implementation plan related to the recommendations from the August 2018 New Jersey Future Report on Ridgewood's age friendliness. So thanks for that.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, Ann Loving, 342 South Irving Street. I'm sure everybody received these in the mail, and probably, most likely, the deputy mayor is going to make an announcement about this tonight. But I think it was so poignant when we learned that it's not just about support the tradition, but save the tradition, which all of my life in Ridgewood, we've always had fireworks parade and so on. And I think a lot of people that might be out of town don't realize it. They could still purchase tickets, or 50-50 ticket, make a donation. And some people like to watch the fireworks without paying for them, which I know is a lot of people's tradition to go to the King's parking lot. But you could still pay for them, and so it was frightening to hear that that the tradition might die without our support. So although I know that Deputy Mayor Knudsen will be making announcements about this, I wanted to say it from a resident, too. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? None of the new faces in the audience? No? Okay. All right, we'll close public comment. Village Manager's report.
Okay, I want to alert commuters to the plans for the train station parking lot to be closed for milling tomorrow and then paving on Friday. This will also include closing the 3-hour spaces adjacent to McMurphy's. As an alternative location, annual permit holders can park in the last 3 rows of the Hudson Street lot or any of the other village-owned lots in the Central Business District. Permit holders may not park in shopper diners or CBD employee spaces. We thank you for your patience and cooperation. They're actually going to make a call this evening at about 9 o'clock. It is supposed to rain tomorrow. They can mill in the rain. However, if it's pouring rain all day, they won't be able to. We're hopeful it'll stop around 10:30 or 11. If it's drizzling, they can. We'll have it done. And then the lots are actually open again at 5 p.m. If you happen to go into those lots after 5 p.m., especially on Thursday night, be very careful because it will be a milled surface, and so it's uneven. But by Friday night, as long as we can do it, by 5 or 6 o'clock, we'll have new paved parking lot, new stripes. So we're really looking forward to it. It'll be over 30 spaces additional to that parking lot. I also want to alert residents, next week we're going to close the recycling center on Wednesday, June 19th, and possibly Thursday, June 20th. This closure is required for PSE&G to upgrade the power at that location. We're installing a cardboard compactor at the recycling center, and so we're trying to do it in the middle of the week instead of closer to the weekends or after the weekend when it seems like more people are at the recycling center. So it will actually, the road going in will actually be closed at the firehouse. You won't be able to go any further than that. Graydon Pool Movie on the Beach, Ralph Breaks the Internet, is an imaginative, heartfelt sequel to Disney's Wreck-It Ralph. And this film will be shown at Graydon Pool this Friday, June 14th at 7 p.m. The rain date is the 15th. The movie will begin at sundown, and the cost is $5 per person. All are invited to participate in a fundraising event at the Steel Wheel Tavern on North Broad Street to support the Castro Memorial Shell Summer Concerts. On Wednesday, June 26th, 20% of all proceeds will be donated to the Castro Memorial Shell Committee. The members of this committee are volunteers who donate their time to support this free concert series. I'm pleased to announce that the Pothole app will be back on the village website by the end of the week. This will allow residents to report potholes. You'll take a picture, report the location, and give a description, and you will not have to register prior to doing that. There'll be a listing of all potholes reported, or you can report your own. This will help us in getting those potholes filled more quickly because of the fact that many times we don't even know they exist unless someone calls in. It's a lot quicker to do it through the app. The Guild sponsors Art in the Parks evening events, Friday, July 12th, and then August 2nd. Take a stroll in the park and enjoy music and artwork displayed by local artists. Art is for sale those evenings, which proceeds benefiting the Ridgewood Guild. The Stable Art Gallery exhibit will host a reception Saturday, June 15th, featuring the Chinese brush painting of Robert Santee and his pupils from 1 to 3 p.m. Graydon Pool has opened for the 2019 summer season. Early season weekend hours, 10 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Weekday hours are 12 noon to 7:30 p.m. Residents can purchase memberships in person or at the pool office or at ridgewoodnj.net/community pass. The regular season begins June 24th through August 11th, and the late season is August 12th through September 2nd. The Cashel Memorial Shell, located on Veterans Field, features popular music concerts on Tuesdays and Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. in June, July, and early August. Bring a chair or blanket to enjoy these free concerts under the stars. The Ridgewood Guild provides movies under the stars on Wednesday nights twice a month in June, July, and August in Memorial Park at Venice Square at sundown. This evening's movie is The Postman Always Rings Twice, The Wizard of Oz on June 26th, Chicago on July 10th, Sleepless in Seattle July 24th, The Sixth Sense August 7th, and E.T. on August 21st. Please bring a chair or blanket to enjoy the show. Dog licenses are due for renewal in the month of June. After July 1st, a $20 late fee will be charged. Dog owners were reminded by email or mailing to complete the renewal form, enclose a check, and mail it to the health department. The health department is open 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Anyone wishing to register for summer day camp at this time will pay an additional $50 late fee. Day camp does begin on Tuesday, June 25th. Sunday, June 23rd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., the Bergen County Utilities Authority will collect household hazardous waste at Bergen Community College at 400 Paramus Road in Paramus. Rain or shine, Bergen County residency is required. And finally, I just want to remind everyone again that parking in all village-owned lots after 3 p.m. does not require a permit. Time restrictions, maximum of 3 hours, and parking fees are still in effect.
All right, thank you. Council reports, Councilman Seaton.
Thank you, Mayor. The Shade Tree Commission met last night, and just a reminder, June 30th is the deadline for the Adopt a Tree program. So the Adopt a Tree program, again, is if residents are interested, they could contact the Parks Department, or they could fill out the form on the village's website under the Shade Tree Commission's link. And it's a process where a resident can pay for the tree and have it planted. They get the same price that the village does. So if there's a spot in front of your home on the planting strip and you wanted to pay to have a tree put there and maybe not wait for it, you could do this through the Adopt a Tree program. It's the cost is $450, but again, that's the cost that we pay, and it includes the tree and staking and a gator bag and the planting. So June 30th is the deadline, and again, it's available online or by contacting the Parks Department. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. So first I'm going to thank Ann Loving for commenting about the 4th of July programming. This will be the 109th annual Ridgewood 4th of July celebration, Thursday, July 4th. And as everyone, hopefully everyone has this card and they read it carefully. Don't let it fall into the pile and in the garbage pail. Some important facts. The 4th of July celebration receives no direct funding from the Village of Ridgewood. This day would not be possible without the community's donation and support. The day's events are organized by an all-volunteer committee, and that's headed up by Lee Gilsenan and Tara Masterson, who were just amazing, lifelong residents of the Village of Ridgewood. You can help ensure the tradition continues, and again, I have said very clearly, this is no longer support the tradition. I like to call this year Save the Tradition. Make a donation. Purchase a 50/50 raffle ticket. See the website. We'll give you the website address. Purchase a ticket to Veterans Field for the evening entertainment and fireworks. Best seats in the village. Even if you're just watching the fireworks from afar, if you're at somebody's house, if you're at the high school field where I used to go and watch the fireworks with my neighbors, make a donation. Join the committee or volunteer. And the website is ridgewoodjuly4th.com. And then just to add to the opportunities to donate, there's some mindless ways to donate. Wednesday, June 19th, join us at the Steel Wheel Tavern at 51 North Broad Street. 20% of all proceeds from their sales for the entire day will be donated back to the Ridgewood 4th of July celebration. And again, that's Wednesday, June 19th. Also, at the location, there will be 50/50 raffle tickets available, and firework tickets will also be available there for sale. As everyone knows, every year the 4th of July develops a theme, and this year the theme is All-American Summer. Now, the theme is the basis for the floats, which is the competition for all the elementary schools. And again, this is important. This is something the kids love, the parents enjoy, and the people watching the parade love to watch the floats for the schools, from the schools. So the theme aims to celebrate all things summer in America: backyard barbecues, baseball games, outdoor concerts, camping fairs, cross-country road trips, and driving to the Jersey Shore. Everyone has a favorite, and hopefully for everyone watching and out there in the world, that one of the favorites will be the Ridgewood's tradition, 109 years of the 4th of July parade and fireworks. So please, please go on. Just make any donation. Anything will help. Costs go up. Funding remains flat. And we do have a lot of costs that we need to cover. So again, that is the ridgewoodjuly4th.com. There's a little way to make a donation and buy tickets, buy 50/50 raffles. Maybe you'll win. So somebody will win. I don't know that it'll be me, but please help. Let's see, stigma-free. Our stigma-free committee met yesterday. Stigma-free is an initiative to address, to destigmatize mental health issues, and we're really excited at the opportunity to really put together a talented group of individuals to come together to help with this initiative advance throughout the village. And we were very fortunate yesterday that Sheila Brogan popped in and sat with us, as Sheila is a geriatric social worker. And so her input was really valuable yesterday in helping us navigate how we would approach a stigma-free Ridgewood. We will be using some grant money available for 5 showings of the movie Angst sometime in late September, so we'll have more details forthcoming. Angst is an IndieFlix original documentary designed to raise awareness around anxiety, its sociological effects, and what can be done about it. The film includes interviews with kids, teens, educators, experts, parents, and an interview with Michael Phelps. Stigma Free is also organizing a community resource list to help those in need access appropriate assistance, whether in crisis mode or just in general. So we will be adding to our Village of Ridgewood website a page for Stigma Free, and also you can currently find us on Facebook. It's Ridgewood Stigma Free. So like our page, visit, tag it, follow it. I don't really know what else you do with the Facebook page, but whatever you do, do it. And then you can follow along and help us make Ridgewood a stigma-free village. Tomorrow night, Garden Room, 8 p.m., Historic Preservation Commission meets. Next week is Planning Board meeting, 7:30 p.m. right here in the courtroom, and the Master Plan Advisory Committee will be meeting prior to that as well. And finally, my favorite, this year we had the opportunity to participate in Geese Peace, and our Geese Peace Committee, our volunteers, headed by our fearless leader, Dawn Citrullo, the director of our health department, we oiled, is it oiled? Oiled.
Or you could say addled. Mike's the resident expert, actually. More than 150 eggs, which comprised 32 nests, and we were 95% effective, according to animal control, 95% effective in controlling the geese population in the village of Ridgewood. So, albeit my first time out was a little bit panic, and I did
scream, call 911, because there was a geese pecking at the umbrella, and it really frightened me. But to our credit, we really did a great job, and we want to thank Dawn Citrullo and all the volunteers who helped in Geese Peace. And next year, we're going to try and recruit some Boy Scouts and maybe some students at Ridgewood High School who might be interested in helping out. So thank you to everybody, and that's my report.
Thank you. Councilwoman Walsh?
I've got nothing this week.
All right. Councilman Voigt?
Thank you, Mayor. Last Friday at the library from 12 to 2, English as a second language had their annual luncheon. Deputy Mayor and myself attended. It's all of the students and the tutors that actually get together. I think there was like 30 different countries that were, people from 30 different countries who were actually learning the English language. It was just a really fun day, different foods. The teachers and the students themselves have begun really good friendships with each other. Wanted to thank Victoria Hilditch, who heads up the English as a Second Language program, for putting all of this together. She does a great job, and it really is a wonderful program that the library puts together. Age Friendly has a survey that they're encouraging those 55 and older to take. It's on the internet. It's agefriendlyridgewood.org/2019 survey. It's a very quick survey to fill out. It really talks about the livability of Ridgewood as it relates to those who are 55 and older. It's a very simple survey to complete. I myself am of that age bracket and older. So we encourage all those people of that age group to fill it out, and it's helpful. It helps plan what we need to do, I think, for the town to really make sure that we are age friendly itself. So please fill that out.
Thank you.
That's it.
Just have a few things. Last Saturday, June 8th, at Van Nest, there was a gun violence awareness event. It was a very nice event. Everybody was wearing their orange color. We had a lot of elected officials come in and show their support and share some experiences and some words. Students demand action. We're also on site. Moms demand action. So thank you to both groups for their input and support. And also thank you to organizer Kathy Brienza for putting the event together. There was also on the same day Girl Scout Gold Award ceremony. Had the pleasure of attending. Chief Lutke was there as well. I want to thank Pastor Nolan Palsma for opening the doors to his beautiful church once again for the benefit of the community. Very nice event. So impressed by the Gold Award projects and just how poised all of the award winners were. And we also had the chance to hear back from RHS grad who came back to talk, and it was just a really nice speech and so motivating and inspiring. Very nice event. I know we have some Boy Scouts in the audience tonight. This Saturday, June 15, also at Upper Ridgewood Community Church, is the Troop 7 Eagle Scout Court of Honor. So looking forward to honoring a very impressive Eagle Scout Award recipient. And we have coming up tomorrow, CB DAC will meet here at 8:30 in the Garden Room. And we have on Friday, grand opening of a new business. It's called Furology. It's a dog grooming business. That's on Friday, June 14 at 5:30. They're going to be opening the new location at 24 Prospect Street. That's all I have.
Okay, there are no ordinances?
Oh, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention our very own Ally Stroker. Very big, proud moment for the village of Ridgewood. Very own Ally Stroker winning a Tony Award. And it was very exciting. I know that there was a series of parties that were organized, and everybody was cheering for her. And it was one of the most beautiful and moving acceptance speeches that I've ever seen. And it was just wonderful, and it feels great, and it seems like the community comes back together around events like this, and it was just wonderful. I had the chance to speak to her dad, and he's in cloud nine. I mean, he's just elated. And, he was quick to point out that this process really began in Ridgewood 30 years ago. There was a lot of support around the family and then, and and they're still today. I know there was banners going up, and I believe the Ridgewood Arts Council is working on a special celebration.
It's funny that you mentioned Ridgewood Arts Council. I did not add them in my council report, but that's okay. I'll get them next time. But yes, we are working on something at the Ridgewood Arts Council for Allie Stoker, and she's beautiful, she's amazing, she's talented, and she made Ridgewood proud.
Sure did. Thank you, Councilman Walsh.
Okay. We have no ordinances for Ridgewood Water. The next item is resolutions for Ridgewood Water. The following resolutions, numbered 19-156 through 19-158, will be adopted by a consent agenda with one vote by the Village Council. They will be read by title only. Award contract, roof repairs for various Ridgewood Water properties. Award contract under state contract, geographic information system for data migration. Award contract under Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, 2019 Ford Escape. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 3723.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. So ordered. Would the clerk please read ordinance 3723 by title?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 145-6 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood entitled Enumeration of Fees Related to Code Chapters under Chapter 156-70F entitled Outdoor Cafe License, Annual Fee per Number of Seats, to amend the fees charged for outdoor cafes.
I move that ordinance 3723 be adopted on first reading and that July 17th, 2019 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon. Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 3724.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. So ordered. Would the clerk please read ordinance 3724 by title?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 154 of the Code of the Village of Ridgewood, Flood Damage Prevention.
I move that ordinance 3724 be adopted on first reading and that July 17th, 2019 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the first reading of ordinance 3725.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. So ordered. Would the clerk please read ordinance 3725 by title?
A bond ordinance amending a portion of the description contained in Section 3S of Bond Ordinance numbered 3644 of the Village of Ridgewood of the County of Bergen, New Jersey, finally adopted May 9th, 2018.
I move that ordinance 3725 be adopted on first reading and that July 17th, 2019 be fixed as the date for the hearing thereon.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. I move the clerk read ordinance 3722 by title on second reading. The public hearing thereon be open.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes. Will the clerk please read the title to ordinance 3722?
An ordinance adding a new section to the Code of the Village of Ridgewood entitled Single-Use Plastic Bag Reduction.
The public hearing is now open.
Good evening, Boyd Loving, 342 South Irving Street. I fully support this ordinance. We have property in Hoboken. The similar ordinances was adopted in Hoboken. It's really great down there. There's been a real tremendous cut down on a number of plastic bags flying around the street up against fences. So I think this is a great thing for Ridgewood to do, a step forward. It sets an example for other communities in the Bergen County area that they should be doing something similar. I do have one question, though. I know that there was some debate during the course of discussion about this ordinance as to whether it would apply for the farmers market and whether it would apply for the street fairs. I'm just wondering what was finally decided. Do those two entities, are they incorporated into the prohibitions, or did you decide to exclude them?
They're incorporated in.
So
They are within the ordinance that they are prohibited from using single-use plastic bags.
So there are no exceptions then in terms of
Well,
that?
the only exceptions are like if it's a vegetable bag and things like that, but not the carry bags.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I was in Stop and Shop today, and I was in the self-checkout line, and sometimes they have an employee at the end of the self-checkout line who's bagging. I was going to walk out of the store without bags, but by the time I looked, the person had already placed my items in 3 bags. So I think this is really going to put an end to the number of plastic bags that are floating around the village, and I thank you for moving forward with this.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Bob Upton, 172 West Glen Avenue, and REACT Chair. Just want to thank you for bringing this ordinance to this point, and I'm delighted that there don't seem to be any objectors here tonight. I thought there might be some. And I wanted to remind everybody, if there are any objections that you hear about, that there are many countries where bans like this have been adopted. The state of California, the entire state of Hawaii have bans of this type, and they're all managing to survive with them. So hopefully you'll see fit to pass it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, Council. Russell Forenza, Emmett Place, Ridgewood, New Jersey, 0745028032881. I completely disagree with this ordinance. So we have a person that disagrees. I lived in Hoboken. I was born there. If anybody thinks what Hoboken does, Jersey City does, Trenton, Paterson, Camden, and any of those cities do, you're completely wrong. They do not do the right thing. They got yuppies living down there, and that's what they got. They don't need plastic bags. They go out for dinner every night. They eat breakfast out. They hop the train or whatever it is, the path to New York City and go to work. So what you're doing is putting a disservice to the people of this town. If they throw them around, it's littering. Fine them. We got fines on the books for littering. Take care of the problem where it exists. Find out how to get rid of plastic bags the way they should get rid of plastic bags. Dumping them in the ocean? Hey, that's a problem too. Why do we allow it? That's not us. That's state and federal government that allows all that stuff, not municipalities. So you people and anybody that's for it, fine, you're for it. I'm against it. You pass an ordinance or whatever it is and you say you want it, it's not necessary. Don't be believing what Hoboken has to say or Jersey City has to say. People for years moved out of those places because they couldn't stand the corrupt government that was in those places. They still probably have corrupt government today, except you got yuppies living there that have no idea what's going on, and they basically moved into Jersey City and Hoboken and taken over. I have more to say later. Thank you.
Thank you. I move the public hearing be closed.
You have a second?
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache?
Yes.
I move that ordinance 3722 be adopted on second reading and final publication as required by law.
Second.
Newton?
So I'm actually going to abstain for this, from this vote, having nothing to do with yuppies in Hoboken or anything else, in all fairness. My reasoning is because I just want to explain this. First, that I have done a ton of my own research on this, and based on what the chairman of REACT said at a previous meeting, that in fact paper bags are worse for the environment than the plastic bags. I've also done additional research on the fact that as single-use bags, actually these bags that they use in Stop and Shop, for me personally, on the occasion that I get them, because I do carry all my own cloth bags, they are not single-use for me. And I did enough research to learn that the increase in sales of actual single-use bags, trash can liners, et cetera, is significant. And so in the absence of having plastic bags in the grocery store to be used as second use, not just single use, people actually now go and purchase plastic bags to line their trash cans. So, and I'm also uncomfortable choosing between an industry, a manufacturer, to say that you can conduct business here in the village and the other guy can't. So I feel like I'm being asked to choose between two different businesses, and I'm not comfortable with that. But more importantly, I think that either it doesn't go far enough or it goes too far. I'm not a scientist. I'm not entirely comfortable with this ordinance, so I'll abstain.
Seaton,
Yes.
Voight,
Yes.
Walsh,
Yes.
and Hache.
Yes.
Resolutions. The following resolutions, numbered 19-159 through 19-202, with the exception of resolution number 19-199, which will be read in full, will be adopted on a consent agenda with one vote by the Village Council. They will be read by title only. Waive 4th of July vendor fees. Grant permission to fireworks company for fireworks display. Award contract disposal of grass clippings. Award contract underground storage tank system repair. Title 59 approval selective clearing of trees for berm construction at Shedler property. Award contract selective clearing of trees for berm construction at Shedler property. Award contract to a sole source provider, geographic information systems for various departments. Award contract under state contract bulletproof vests. Award contract under Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, stump grinder, Parks Department. Award contract under Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, 2019 Ford F-250 pickup truck, Public Works. Award contract under Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, online auction services. Award contract under National Joint Powers Alliance Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, Caterpillar Rubber Tire Backhoe, Signal and Water Pollution Control Divisions. Award contract under National Joint Powers Alliance Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, roll-off truck with Salter, Street Division. Award contract under Houston Galveston Area Council Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, 2020 Fire Pumper. Award contract under Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, rental of interim sewage transfer pumps, Andover Pump Station. Award contract under Educational Services Commission of New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, bucket truck chassis, Parks Department. Award contract under Educational Services Commission of New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Agreement, bucket truck aerial lift, Parks Department. Award partial contract, sidewalks on West Glen Avenue. Award professional services contract, certified lake manager and sediment sampling, dredging of Kings Pond. Appoint village attorney. Appoint village bond attorney. Appoint village labor attorney. Appoint village prosecutor and assistant village prosecutor. Appoint municipal public defender and an alternate municipal public defender. Appoint acting municipal court administrator. Appoint community development representative. Appoint representative to the Open Space Trust Regional Committee. Appoint members to the Planning Board. Appoint members to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. Appoint member to Stigma Free Task Force. Appoint members to the Ridgewood Environmental Advisory Committee. Appoint members to the Green Team Advisory Committee. Authorize allocation of affordable housing trust fund money to the United Way for the Enclave Special Needs Housing. Extend suspension of ordinance for certain illuminated signs in the Central Business District. Authorize tax collector to charge for mailing of tax sale notices. Declare property surplus, 2000 Packer Truck Recycling Division. Authorize access to North Walnut Street parking lot monitoring wells. Authorize Village of Ridgewood to be a New Jersey future aging-friendly community. Endorse Bergen County Historic Preservation Trust Fund grant, James Rose Center, rehabilitation of southern flat roof. Endorse establishment of turn lane on Franklin Avenue. Authorize release of maintenance bond, 44 Godwin Avenue. Approve 2019 to 2020 renewals of liquor licenses and appoint village council members as liaisons to various boards and committees. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Newton?
Yes.
Seaton?
Yes.
Voight?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
And Hache.
Yes.
And then resolution number 19-199. Whereas several Ridgewood residents, organizations, and businesses contributed to the purchase of a flagpole in the public forum space located at Memorial Park at Van Ness Square, and whereas these residents, organizations, and businesses are as follows: Frank Del Vecchio, Jolt, Max Viola Pearl Restaurant, Michael Seaton, Paul Vagianos, It's Greet to Me, Randy Carson Park West Tavern, and Siobhan Winograd. And whereas the check for the purchase of the flagpole was issued by the Christmas Tree Fund, a 501c3 organization, and whereas the value of the flagpole is $925, and whereas these residents, organizations, and businesses do not have any applications before our village board at the present time. Now therefore be it resolved by the Village Council of the Village of Ridgewood that the Village of Ridgewood gratefully accepts the donation of a flagpole in the public forum space located at Memorial Park at Van Ness Square from the aforementioned residents, organizations, and businesses. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Newton?
Could you just come back to me? I just want to think about something with this.
Do that?
Is that okay, Matt?
Come back
Well, you just want her to call your name after.
at the end? At the end? Okay. Seaton?
Recuse.
Okay. Hold on one sec. Voigt?
Yes.
Walsh?
Yes.
Hache?
Yes.
And back to Newton.
Okay. So, I feel like this is a little bit of a something that happened out of procedural order. And while I agree and appreciate the donation of the flagpole, I wish that we would have hammered out the details of the use beforehand. And so it's a very generous donation, and it's been installed. But because we didn't hammer out those details beforehand, I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Okay. Okay.
Now we go back to comments from the public, not to exceed 5 minutes per person.
Is this on this ordinance that we're speaking about?
This is
Just
now
5 minutes.
public comments now.
General comments.
General public comments.
This will be the last.
This is the end.
Anybody has a comment?
Russ, this is the end of the meeting, so it's the last
Well,
public
I would
comment.
be last to go if anybody wanted to speak. That
Oh.
would dominate everything. People want to go home. A couple of things.
Just please identify yourself.
Ferenza Russell, 228 Emmett Place, Ridgewood, New Jersey, 0745028032881. I don't know who's going to use this flagpole, who gets permission to put whatever they want up on the flagpole, who takes it down, and who says yes or no. But I don't want to go with that now. Just give me an answer later. The roads are still terrible. The sewers are still terrible. They haven't been cleaned. Nobody seems to be working on it. I don't know when you people are going to have stuff, people. There's leaves almost filled up to the top of the sewer. The water just overflows and it sits there. It's got to be taken care of. If a person had somebody in government, had somebody, an employee, do work for them, and then paid him out of government money, you wouldn't like that, would you? If a person received no money from the government, but received special favors from a contractor, you would say that's not nice either. I know two instances in Patterson. Both mayors, both went to jail. The $150,000 I'm talking about was for overtime work that was paid out of city funds, $150,000. The other was a mayor that was set up but went to 5 years in jail because he accepted work done on his property. All right, we don't like that. Now my point. A number of years ago, maybe it's 10 years now, $500,000 to $750,000 worth of money, coins, was taken from this village. I still do not know, no council will tell me, no information is available, unless I have to do a public whatever, how that money was taken out. It was all done in one day, supposedly. $750,000 or $500,000. You know how heavy money is? Just try to lift up a bucket or take a couple of rolls of quarters in your hand and see how heavy that is. And then say $500,000. That person never went to jail, and I don't care what happens to that person. I don't really care. Pays the money off. The insurance funds covers it. But nobody can tell me how that money got out of there. So when I ask, police department says, oh, our cameras weren't working that day. All that money was taken out in one day in the building with the police department right there, and nobody knows how it's done. You got an answer, Counselor?
I got answers, but you're giving your comments.
Okay, I'll give my comments, and if you can give an answer, please, because I never saw an answer to this, and I'd like to know why that person doesn't go to jail, and somebody that does $150,000, and somebody that just has work done on their property and took no city money at all went 5 years in federal prison. Nobody comes investigates here. You tell DCA down there, they don't care. You tell the village people here, most of them don't care. So I'd like to know what happens to that money, where did it go, how did that person get that money out of here? Nobody's seen this? Impossible. Had to be more than one person involved. Where did that money go? To what bank? Or how did they change that money and get other money for it? You just don't spend all that money in quarters and give it out. I'd like to have some answers on that. If I have time left, I'll come back. Thank you.
Hello again.
Good evening again. Boyd Loving, 342 South Irving Street. I know from time to time during the course of the past few months there's been some discussion about what's going on up at the Starbucks drive-thru. Every time I pass by there, it's a mess. The cones have been knocked down, and taxpayers are paying for those cones, which really upsets me. Cones are being destroyed. They're being replaced at taxpayer expense. It was my understanding that there was some agreement when they were given the go-ahead to put a drive up there, that there would be a person stationed outside in busy conditions, that they would do certain things in order to facilitate the movement of traffic. I pass by there regularly. I don't use the facility, but I pass by there regularly. I've never seen an employee of Starbucks out there directing traffic. I see the cones knocked down on a daily basis. I see traffic backing up on Franklin Avenue on a daily basis. It doesn't seem like the village wants to do anything to crack down on what's going on up there. Councilman Voigt mentioned that there had been some agreement about them buying some taller stanchions. That was months ago. Still not there. Quite frankly, it's embarrassing that we're letting this go on. I realize that this council has taken a position that you really don't want to do anything that adversely affects somebody's business, but this, to me, is they had an agreement that they were going to do certain things, and they haven't done those things. Why aren't we cracking down on them? Why aren't these stanchions that they agreed to purchase in place? Why isn't an employee of Starbucks out there directing traffic at busy times? Why are they continuing to allow them to affect traffic on Franklin Avenue, cause dangerous conditions? People are making left turns when they're not supposed to. I don't understand why we're not coming to them and saying, look, either you do what you said you're going to do or we're shutting you down. Period. The end. What is the problem with getting this fixed so those of us who use Franklin Avenue can use Franklin Avenue safely? Thank you.
Thank you. Do we know where we left off?
I'll only take a minute. There are rules in 40 and 40-A that say how long a municipality can keep money in the municipality before they deposit it in a bank. That money that was in that room that should have been well guarded and wasn't, dual access and everything else, never existed. Somebody had a pass to get in there. But that 48 hours is the maximum. Usually within 24 hours, all money has to be deposited in a bank. I don't know who the chief financial officer was at the time or who's in charge of that, but somebody's got to be responsible. It's the parking authority, but somebody's got to be responsible. Nobody's responsible. Who's going on? Who's running the village? Again, that's 10 years ago. It may still go on today, I don't know. But who's running the place when there are rules on the books that say it has to be deposited in a bank? Thank you.
Thank you. Matt, you want to address the questions regarding the...
Just a couple of them. He's right that it was at least 10 years ago, I think, that it happened. And just the Ridgewood Police Department turned the investigation over, rightly so, to the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office. The Bergen County Prosecutor's Office investigated this, indicted it, charged it, and dealt with it from the standpoint of a plea, and the judge decided what sentence to mete out. So we don't, as Mr. Fiorenzo knows, we don't necessarily have a say in that. The other issues about it is that there was a system which I believe at that time complied with the holding of money because there was a bank truck that came up on a regular basis and picked up the funds that were left there. The thefts allegedly, as far as we know from the investigation, occurred over the course of a year and a half at least, and not just one night. And there's some information I suppose you could get from an OPA request at the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, but they conducted the investigation. They're the ones that decided how to deal with this from a criminal standpoint. We were able to, I think, do a very good job from a civil standpoint as to what to do with this loss, and to the point where I don't believe that the taxpayer was hurt to a significant event, if at all. So, so that, that's basically what we can, at least that's what we know, and that's what we can talk about. But that's it.
And I just want to point out that that event predates everyone on this council, with the exception of, it probably even predated your previous term. And in many ways, we inherited the outcome. I think when Councilman Seaton and I were on council at the time of the disposition of the case, and I think that we inherited the backlash on it. And I want to say, on our behalf, we did, I think, everything we could possibly think of to see that there could be some other action taken. But our most important effort was to ensure that the Ridgewood taxpayers were not harmed in any way in terms of financially. So to that end, that was successful. But I don't think there's anyone up here that would disagree with the observation that it seems fundamentally wrong. But we inherited that, and I don't know that there's much that we could ever have done any about it. And so, but we obviously agree. And I just wanted to ask, to Mr. Loving's point, why don't we just get a copy of the resolution of approval for Starbucks? Maybe we should be reviewing that and determining whether or not, they're living up to their end as required by that resolution. And I think that the reason there was an issue with the turn on that was because Ben & Jerry's actually started to lose business because people couldn't make the left turn into Ben & Jerry's, and that created actually more of a traffic and circulation nightmare for Ben & Jerry's and for the immediate area. So we can get the copy of the resolution and take a look at it and see what they were agreed to in that resolution and go from there.
And just so everybody knows, the zoning officer is the enforcement officer on that.
Yeah.
And that's where that comes from. And the other thing is, I believe we heard a proposal about one of the ways of dealing with that from Sergeant Chuck just last meeting.
Correct.
Yeah, it's resolution 198.
Right.
198.
Right. And in addition, Starbucks has agreed to make it so that cars leaving Starbucks can only go right. So the left turn out of Starbucks will not take place. I'll have to get from them when that is supposed to occur. They do have, not plans, but sketches they've provided. So let me find out when that will occur.
Yeah. That's the best we can do.
Yeah. I will close public comments and I'll take a resolution to go into closed session.
Be it resolved by the Village Council of the Village of Ridgewood that the Village Council meet in closed session on June 12, 2019 at 8 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter on the agenda can be reached, and that said closed session be held in the caucus room of the Ridgewood Village Hall, 131 North Maple Avenue, Ridgewood, New Jersey. And be it further resolved that the matters to be discussed in closed session are limited to legal matters to include Valley Hospital, Ridgewood Water lawsuit, and personnel matters to include boards and committees. These matters are allowable under NJSA 10:4-12 et sec. And be it further resolved that the minutes of this meeting shall be made available to the general public when such matters have been deemed completed by resolution of the Village Council. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Nope.
Thank you.
Just want to wish all the fathers happy Father's Day. It's Father's Day this Sunday, so